Shit, hello. And then, there she is.
I'm here.
Can I hear you?
Well, have you thought about turning your volume up? Turn it up. It's not me.
It's not. I'm going live on Facebook. Is it your phone? Is it your laptop? Have you got a microphone?
Yes, I've been doing Zoomies all day, haven't I? And it's been fun.
I bet you haven't, have you?
I have.
Oh yeah, of course you have. Because you got Zoom. You do Zoom calls on it. Of course you have.
It's so funny you're not
why
able
doing
to
that?
hear me.
Because it must be a setting. Oh no, it must be a setting or something. So what we're learning here, folks, is she's learned, and what we're doing here. This is like the David Attenborough. The species of the species. This is the species of Vic. Species of Vic Leonard. Right now, she can bedazzle an audience here, but she's just learned how to click. Oh, she's gone. Oh, he's upset. Oh, she's going to be back. Don't worry. I hope she's going to be back. Otherwise, I'm going to get on with some work. And well, I'm not going to get on with some work because I needed some entertainment. And the thing was, it was meant to be like Vic is the only person I think that can get my humour. And when I'm a bit stressed and gone for a walk, and now dealt with something else, it's the joys of ex-partners. And I think I'm not even the one going through what they're going through, and it makes me. There she is. There she is. Let's see if she comes back with any.
Hello.
Maybe might just have to. Do you know what I've just learned? You're on mute on the here. Now try. I can hear you. I can hear you now.
I'm not saying anything because I don't think you need it today. I'm just I'm gonna save that one because I'm a nice person. You twat. Click the rat. Click the rat. That's hilarious.
So that means everyone could hear you all along.
Yeah, everyone else could. You couldn't. So you've been streaming me going, "You're a wanker." We can hear me.
So that's put me in a happy mood now. A little bit of laughter. Jeez.
Why were you unhappy before? Is this you came on to have a rant, didn't you? Sorry. Angry face. Have a rant. Go on. What are you gonna have a rant about? What were you gonna have a rant about?
I need to remind myself now. You made me smile.
No, you've lost the whole purpose of your. So you were gonna have a rant about something. It was probably were you gonna have a rant about? It was probably something joyful to do with the family courts.
It was probably. I think it was just good. It was definitely like how I feel that men are, and regardless of their past or history, I think we're treated. I know we're treated differently, and I get it, and it's just frustrating when it's so blatant. And then I think that's frustrating because it's like. It's just frustrating. It's
how do you feel that, like, in what way, so that women could understand? In what way do you feel that men are treated differently? Do you think it's like is it the way they're spoken to? Is it the communication?
The way they're not spoken to, the way they're spoken to, the way they're not spoken to, the way they offer concern and support, and it's like they're just getting blanked, stonewalled. They're basically, if they were in a relationship with that social worker or CAFCAS officer, then the CAFCAS officer or social worker would be guilty of emotional and psychological abuse. But because they're working there doing that, they would have to do it. And then people might say, or you might say, with your brainy head, oh, but it's just a process and whatever, and that's just how it is, and you got to think that it must.
Well, no, but it's not right. I do say that, and it's not that it's right. It's just that it's kind of once you've figured out the game, it's how you play it. It's like it's all very well and good going into a game of rugby with a hockey stick, but you are going to be repeatedly asked to leave by the referee because that's not how you play rugby. And that's kind of like how you have to look at the social services, that it isn't right that individual would quite like to play with a hockey stick, and they should be implored for their use of multi-sport mixing. But There are rules and they are structures, and that's the way it's been designed. Is it right? No. Should it be abolished? Yes. Is that what we're trying to get? Yes. Because it will take away, like what you're talking about, there'll be no parent A and parent B is what we're aiming for. Because you're right. There are many times where I think it's the flip of a coin, and the only thing with any coin is there's only two sides, and that's the same with the courts. It's a male side or a female side, and it shouldn't be either, really, because you've got kids in between a male and female. I mean, and which with CAFCAS and things, what happens is a prejudgment's made on a phone call, and then, for example, one of your clients will then have to live with that. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. I know that's the frustration. But the thing is, people are prejudging, and even the old Bill, are literally prejudging everything, and it's like it's frustrating. It's just irritating to you never begin to imagine. And then not only that, people, human beings, right? So. Females, right? Literally, I saw a really good post someone put up earlier, and it just nailed it. There it is. Dave Saunders put it up, right? Mothers' rights. Look at the list of them. Look at that list. There.
It's 21 hours.
What?
It's 21 hours. Sorry, my computer just tells me what the time is.
So, and then look at how many rights you got. 3 there from fathers, dads. And then how many you got for women? That's the perfect picture. It says it all.
Yeah, but you know why that is. Yeah, but you do know why that is, don't you?
I don't care what it is. It's not equality. That's not equality.
It's because under the old on the old patronage of constitutional rights, it was always a given that you were the property of your husband. When women started getting during the suffragette movement, 150 years ago, they started with Emily Pankhurst and things where we were trying to go for the vote. We didn't have any rights over our own children. And this still happens in a lot of Muslim countries where if you get divorced, you're made to leave your child with your husband, or they become property of your husband. So in this country, what we tried to do was write down those laws and those rights for the mothers, because there was an automatic removal, especially of bloodlines where they're my children, that's my heir, you can leave and they're staying with me. And of course it meant that women had no rights at that time. Now obviously the world is a different place now, which is another reason why I think the family court should be open, because laws such as that you've just highlighted would seem comparatively unfair. Do you know what I mean? But
that's because they are.
But then on the other hand, statistically, removals that are court ordered of children from one party to another in absolute are massively, I think 87% of them are ordered from female to go to male. And again, that isn't good. And even I think down the line, I think maybe the dads have thought, shit, my kids ended up pretty traumatized by that. You know, I won the case, but who actually won? The kids didn't, and it was meant to be about the kids. So I think that's where the services don't help in my fairy tale world. And that's where the law doesn't help either, because it's still focusing on, how can I put this, on the dangly bits or the lack of dangly bits, and not really focusing on the need for the child just to know both parties. Like it's still sex related. Yeah, like you know, willies and
that's what I'm saying. So this is my point. My frustration is this, right? Because you know, I specifically wanted you because you can put up with me, like. And give it back and give the arguments, fight back and argue back when I'm wrong. But tonight I don't think I am, because I think depends what mood I'm in. But now, for the first time in a long time, I feel like we are literally, and I feel for so many men that I'm working with, because it's like they're just not getting the light of day because of prejudged, fake allegations, but bullshit. Like, literally, don't get me wrong. Some of them, yeah, you've got some, but then some of them are like literally nonsensical, yeah. But what frustrates me more than anything else is the kids are seeing it, and you've actually got men here, and even if it means a little bit of coaching from my side to get them doing that, you've got men who are actually trying to be decent dads and not be angry and stuff, and then they're still getting judged.
Well, it's easy once the gaslighting process has begun, whether or not it's to male or female. it's really easy for the services to tap on board with that, because then you have a winning and a losing party. And I think that the sad thing is that if it's, let's say statistically females are the resident parent, then it's easier to support the already existing resident parent if there's been no issues at school and stuff, you know. And that's also, it's down to statistics again, and to, you know, how the social services operate their favoritism, and that's not down to the individual. And I think that's really sad. But again, they're still not thinking about the child, is it? Because the child has the right to both parents, and where we leave the services being sexist, and we have another party or a judge, we then are leaving it totally unfair for that child that's going to miss out on that developmental nurture from a man. So we're stunting the children.
And this is what's pissing me off, because I've got in majority in these cases now, I've got 3 of them today, 3 of them, and 2 of them, the man was the main carer. Yeah, so you're actually doing more harm. You're doing more harm to the child not being with dad, and then same, it's similar to your situation. Like, you know, they do more harm the child not being with the person that is the main carer, whether it be gender, whether it be man or woman, than what they are by putting it over someone else by themselves.
Severing secure attachment.
And still, we have to do silly stuff. We have to put silly stuff in words, like words, not protests and stuff, but we have to put strong words in to make people sit up and listen. And then you're still going to, and because you have to make people sit up and listen, you're still going to get a slap on the wrist for it, because you've got to do something to make them sit up and listen. And then it's like, it's irritating. And then people, and then let's get to relationships. Yeah, relationships. Let me back on this, relationships. Yeah, right. I saw it earlier. I'm single for a reason, right? I'm single for a reason, and I like being single because I like doing what I want when I like working all the time, right? Like literally, my mate is in bits right now. Yeah, he's in bits because he fell in love. And I said to him, "Don't fall in love. Don't fall in love. Yeah, soulmates, all that sort of shit. Don't do it. All right? What did he do? He went and did it, and then he went and gave his. He went and did it. He's a fool."
No, but
I just think it's best staying single, like, for the rest of your life. And any man or woman who decides to get into a relationship, I think just buy a baby, buy one. That's what everyone's doing these days.
America, you can get them, and you can pre-order them, because that's what pre-birth assessments are for. Because otherwise, why would you have them? You've got a midwife, so it's for ordering healthy babies, isn't it? Making sure they're drug and alcohol free, kind of being able to screen the gender as well. Now that people do that, you can say you want a baby boy.
People ask you can. This is 12-year-olds now. Scotland would be the first people to do it. They're going to. They're already doing it, aren't they, in Scotland?
What?
Babies, children as young as 12 choosing their gender.
Oh yeah, that yeah. Of course they are. Of course they are. You see, the thing is, oh look, a flower on my head. The thing is that it was always going this way. Why did the LGBTQ movement start involving children and children's rights and this, that, and the other? Because I think if you ask most people about being trans, they knew they were different. They thought they were homosexual in some cases. You know, they went through that and then they transitioned. But isn't there a really scary percentage of people that are regretting having reconstructive surgery? Or what do they don't call it reconstructive surgery? They call it...
It's called like chopping bits off, no? So do you think they use
augmentation and what?
Horse meat. Do you think they use horse meat?
No, they use other parts of the body. And they have to go through a long pit, and it's really painful. It's not nice. This is what, as well, they need... The process is, yes, the waiting list for psychological evaluation need to be much shorter. Suicide rates for people that are transitioning who aren't getting support are really, really high. But I think it's really difficult because we didn't have this issue. And I say it's an issue because I don't think people really gave a shit. There's always been those people in the village where, oh, he became a man or he became a woman. But what's happening now is being a precursor for our lives as we live it. It's kind of like we need to open up these choices to children, and children need to be children because children are sexless. It's like when you look at a baby, I used to have it all the time, and I think, oh, what a beautiful boy, because they'd be in blue. And I just used to smile and nod and go thank you to the old lady, because I wasn't going to say, oh, I've dressed it in blue. And that's what people do. It's in blue, so they go, it's a boy because it's a baby. It's the same with children. You know, my children wore what they wanted to wear. And sometimes because of that, people go, what a lovely little boy. And I just like laugh. And Nushka would say, no, I'm a girl. But that was, you know, that's because she liked wearing blue. And I explained that's just because, and we explained that. But I think that, you know, we're putting too much on sex. And I think, you know, even if we were to sit down with children and say, and ask them about it, I think they'd find it very funny that adults are even thinking that they think that way. And we're putting things in their heads already, which then creates this confusion. All the adverts about it. If you want to dress as a boy, if your parents don't let you, and there are children that genuinely are in the wrong body from a very young age, yes, that is a given. But they don't start going through puberty. Okay, so why are they even thinking about those bodily changes before then? It's being planted. It's being planted. You know, because their body hasn't changed, it's their body. And this is the other thing, body image. If they found themselves beautiful regardless of their genitalia, and it was all about a state of mind, which a lot of them say they now think it is, this pan business as well, pansexuality and things, then we need to really address the way that we look at body image, because everyone needs to love their own bodies and not want someone else's or bits of someone else's, and then create this distorted ideal that they can make that a reality.
But yeah, but it's impossible. That's impossible because you've got the internet now, and kids have got the internet too early. And I said this the other day, and someone laughed at me. But I think there should be an age limit on the internet. I think it's brilliant, but I think there should be like a cap. Like people
21
on the internet until they're like 21 or something like that. It needs to be capped because kids are growing up too soon and doing too much, knowing too much too soon, missing out on their childhood and that sort of stuff. Too clever too soon. Too clever too soon.
But they're not clever though. They've got no worldly knowledge. They've got misinformation that they've been fed through overshares on Facebook, or they're getting information that hasn't been fact checked. They don't go to libraries anymore. It's not where they study. They don't have study groups where they get told off for speaking in the library. They sit on a platform like this while multitasking, doing something else, creating multi-directional, multitasking beings that can be listening to something in their ears and doing something over here, which is just like ADHD. It means we've got really short capacity to absorb things in still. You know, technology, we're all addicted to it. We're all addicted to our phones. Children are creating the same kind of addictions, the same noradrenaline, the same responses, the same cortisol is being given off. That fear, you know, the fear response. Where's my phone? Where's this? Where's that? That stress hormone actually causes brain damage. It's like the internet is causing us brain damage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's got its benefits, but I think it's turning everyone numb. Everyone's just numb, and we're so influenced by it. We're so influenced by like, and look at everyone, like, you know, TikTok. Before it was TikTok, it was something else. And I remember Lila had it was Musically. It was called Musically, and that was just literally mimicking songs. And look how that's grown, and everyone does TikToks. But we're so influenced by what everyone else is doing that everyone just follows that shit because we're influenced by the people above us, media, Facebook. And everything influences us, you see,
I don't have TikTok, Snapchat, or anything like that. I mean, Facebook's bad enough, but I haven't bought into Snapchat after someone said it was like a face profiling thing that they'd created, and I do believe that because it has all these filters on it which like take pictures of your face. So when people are worried about CCTV cameras not recognizing people when they've got masks on, it's because they've started getting used to we put that funny little filter that everyone had of like a little before Corona actually, of a little cat with a mask, like a little mask thing on their face, and that they had these little ears, and that was a Snapchat filter. That was way before. That was like 3.5 years ago, and everyone was like these little Snapchat filters. And I kind of was like, what's this Snapchat about? I thought that's dodgy. And then recently they've said that that's what it's been used for, and all the younger lot have all got their face all over, so they can just face recognition now, people, and they can pinpoint people anywhere. They can track people all over the world because they've got detail because of the amount of social technology that we have. It's like TikTok. You would talk about TikTok, but I think it's so dangerous because it encourages young girls to do very odd things on film that creates targets, because you can follow people really easily and love heart them, and they can follow you back, and then you can get to know about the inside of their room, you can get to know about who's around, who's not around. And I think it's just so dangerous.
There's kids. It's infuriating when I've got, you know, when you've got kids that are just they're because they're trying to be like their role models, and their role models are all magazine people who've been painted and whatever. They're trying to mimic that, and they're trying, and there's kids that are doing over sexualized stuff that you wouldn't expect kids to be doing. Does that make sense? And I know that because I've seen Lila's, like, and it's not pretty, it's not nice, and it's not good, and it's like it's frustrating. It's frustrating as hell because
how old was Lila when she had a smartphone?
She was it was how old is she now? She must have been like 8, 9.
Really?
8 or 9.
Really?
That's it. So she had an iPhone 5. I think I wanted to get her a smartphone. She wasn't allowed. And I got her a burner phone, and then that stopped working magically. And Lindsay got her a iPhone, old iPhone 5, I think it was. First it was an iPod, and then it went on from there. But then you look at that, what that gives her, what she's learned from that now. Even my mate's got a son, and his son is like, is not even just over 18 months old, but 18 months old. He knows how to just start learning to crawl, but one thing he does know how to do is use the remote control and use an iPad.
Mm.
And that's like what we're doing is we're leaving them sitting there in front of the TV, in front of the phone, keeps them quiet. And what you're doing is taking them out, engaging and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, because we never used to have that. Now we've got more hyperactivity disorders, do we? No. What we have is children that used to do a lot more exercise because we were bored. Now we are entertained. We either give that technology to them. That's why I think animals are so good, because you have to go out, check them. You have to go out and do them, you know, because they're living creatures. You have to just go and say hello, give them a carrot, check them over, make sure they've got the leg and head and all the rest of it. And dogs as well, you get out to walk them. But I do find it's nobody's fault, but everyone does become in a situation where they're nannied, that, you know, the technology becomes the nanny. But then if you look at the work hours, you have to have 2 people working full time looking after 2 children pretty much on fairly low income houses. So who's going to look after the children in the downtime, or how's one person going to work from home? They're going to have to use the TV. They're going to have to use the iPads. You know, we don't have free childcare anymore.
That's it. That's exactly how it is. We can't change it, because that's what the world's given us. Same as when we went into lockdown. Look how when we went into lockdown, the first lockdown, it's like, how is everything so set up for first lockdown? Delivery drivers was there, delivery apps, contactless payments, everything's set up for it, and it's like, why is that? And then it's the same way. It's the same reason why everything's set up the way it is set up in family law, because it's set up that way because it's just how it's going to be, and it's frustrating. And I'm normally really, really positive about shit. And I am positive about it, and I think the world's changing a lot. It's changing a lot, and it has changed a lot. And it will continue to change. 5th of November, I think it's my birthday. So people are going to see, I did even manage to get a little shout out there. See, look, I'm still quite good on that. Nice little plug there.
I didn't even, 5th of November. I can't wait. I can't wait to meet everyone. I really can't. I'm really excited. It'll be a really fun day out. If nothing else.
You look really excited. You look really excited there. You look really excited.
I'm going to wear a white hat.
I thought you were going to give me some. I wanted you on the call just because I wanted to get someone to moan off, and then you made me laugh before we even started. So you put me into.
Sorry. So you couldn't get your full rant out. I'm really sorry about that. I think you did well, though. I think you did well to get your little. But it is true. But it's going to be fits and starts. And when you switch over to the other side and start defending women, you'll notice it for women.
Hold there, Pony. there, pony. Whoa there, pony. I do support women. I do.
No, but as in start defending them, as in
Defending. I do defend them.
yeah, but you know, not throwing them under the bus, kind of thing. You know.
I don't throw anyone under the bus.
You know, looking out for their best interests.
I do.
You know, chivalry, all that shit.
I do. I've helped so many women. It's unbelievable.
What I would say, if men want women to act more like ladies again, we want you to act more gentlemanly. And if we apply that to everything in all behaviours, that would be for me not making false allegations in the court about someone's character. That is such a bitchy man thing to do.
Of course, it's a fucking bitchy man thing. It's a bitchy woman thing to do. Fucking.
I haven't made any false allegations.
She's waking up. She's waking up. She's smiling.
No, I'm being serious. Hold doors open.
Are you?
Treat women like ladies and look after them. Yeah, I'm being serious, and don't be degrading.
When was the last time I did not hold a door open for you?
You've never held a door open. I don't even know that you're a real human. After that man earlier, and you told me that he was a bot.
He seemed like he might have been a bot.
Well, he looks like a surgeon.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I only say that because he sent me loads of pictures of dead bodies he'd cut up.
Dead bodies or dead penises?
No, why? No, I'm joking. He didn't send me pictures of dead bodies he cut up. I would have definitely replied. That would have got my attention instead of a gobby voice note going, would you just fuck off? You just
I thought you were talking to me when you said that to me this morning. I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what the fuck have I done?
No, that was to the. I don't even know where he's from.
Yeah, I gathered afterwards.
Yeah, you gathered. But yeah, he then carried on messaging. So he's got.
That's what made me think it was a bot, because he didn't. It's like he just totally ignored what you said. Hi, yeah, but where are you from?
When are we going to meet? Yeah, why won't you marry me? Just piss off. Because I don't want to get married to you.
How much would it cost? How much would you charge?
I wouldn't marry for money. I'd only marry for love. Because it's a life sentence, isn't it? You get less for murder.
Have you got like is it like Friday the 13th going on in there? Someone with the mask, a white mask.
I can't tell if it's my fucking cat or what it is, but they're pissing me off because they're distracting me, and I don't like it.
Suddenly you go out there, the lights go off. Oh, there's someone out there. Oh, well, there you go. That was a bit of a BBC moment, wasn't it? That's almost as bad as when the. What about if it's a human being? Oh, she's alive still.
Yeah.
I thought it might be like a murderer or something like that.
No, just a cat and a dog, and they've stolen the carcass and they're dragging it around the house.
Stolen what?
Carcass.
A carcass of what? A dead body?
Yeah, it's just the last person that tried to cross me. They didn't open the door.
Awkward. And they didn't open the door. Yeah, you go back. Okay, women treat women like ladies, right? I treat women like ladies. They don't appreciate it anymore. In fact, women want someone who's sensitive, right? But then you be all sensitive with them, and then you're too sensitive.
Yeah.
And then I don't want anyone sensitive.
That's because they need to be on their own.
I'm a prime example of that, right? Everyone thinks, but when the external me, like an armadillo, right? Everyone thinks I'm like, I don't care, and then they get to know the women are like, yeah, he's a bad boy. I like him. I love a bit of him. Then they get to know me, and I'm a little bit softer and a little bit gentler, and they're like, "Oh fuck, he's a bit boring. He's a bit boring, isn't he?" And then I'm like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh."
Because they think you're Liam Gallagher, so they just think you're going to do things like he does, like smash up the flat every night.
The thing is, when this is the thing, you get me started again, right? This is the thing, right? Then occasionally, the occasional one time when you do have a bit of a bender, right? And that's what they wanted. They wanted a bad person. Then you can't fucking get it right. Then you're in the fucking bad books. So you can't get it right anyway because you're too soft. And then you're like.
It's about consistency though, and that shows that you've been inconsistent because you have been good and then you've been bad and then you've been good. So you need to work on what you are. So, are you a bad boy or are you not? Because clearly you're sending mixed messages, and that's what the problem is.
I'm not a bad boy.
No,
Not,
maybe
I'm not
you
myself.
need to transition.
Are you a bad person? Are you a bad girl? Are you a bad girl?
I'm a little bit of
no
everything.
one likes you in your village.
I'm a little bit of everything all rolled into one.
No one likes you in your village.
They do. That's a bit extreme.
You got 3 friends, 4?
I've got 2 people that don't hit me. No, I'm joking. No, I've got loads. This is a really nice place to live.
I know. I'm sure it is.
Really
I'm
nice
sure it is. And
place
you know, more people. You're friendly with more people than what I am. Let's put it like that.
I do like people. I like people, and there are lots of really lovely people here. It's just a shame that this situation has caused animosity, and I'm sure those people that haven't been their loveliest will be their loveliest again one day.
We just kill them with kindness, kill them with love, give them love.
I try, but then they'll get me done for sexual assault because
I know that's what I'm saying. Especially if it's oral love.
Oh, I just like. Can you imagine if I was that over familiar? No. What have you been up to? I was really trying to give them a blowjob. They didn't let me.
That's imagine that. Imagine that. Then there's something to moan about. Would they complain though? Would they complain?
I don't know. I think that's actually quite a terrifying thought. Imagine not being aware, even you. Imagine you're just sat on a bench in a park and someone just appears from underneath the bench and just starts attacking your genitalia. It'd be quite scary. Yeah. Or on the tube or something like that. That's called a sexual attack, Jason. I don't think I could be.
What do you mean, Jason? What do you mean? Just like I'm on the tube, like literally raping people.
No. No. You just sing on the tube, don't you? You just.
Huh? I sing on the tube. I talk to people. I'm not got from London, am I? So they're a bit like he talks to people. He's nice to people. Someone falls over, he goes and helps them, picks them up. Everyone else just walks past and ignores them. And sometimes the other week when I needed to borrow someone's phone, and no one would give me a phone to use. No one would even make the phone call for me.
Yeah, the world is a bit of a bitchy place now.
Huh?
The world is a bit of a bitchy place now.
I bet you when it all goes down, and it all gets even worse than it is now, sooner or later, whether it be this year or next, or whenever I'm dead or alive, people are going to start turning on each other. Things are going to start getting looted. The purge is upon us, isn't it? Is that what it is? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty good at firing bow and arrows. I'm pretty good with throwing knives. Pretty all right with stuff. I'll be fine. Bring on the purge.
I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't punch my way out of a wet paper bag. I could probably run and hide. Leave it you to do all the.
Yeah, I'll just from Devon save everyone. That'll be fine. I'll just save everyone from here. Well, I've got the horses, so I can just chuck you all on horseback, and then just gallop across the moors. Just get you to whittle down flint arrowheads, and then I'll just kill people as they pass.
This is me riding my horse in Devon.
You'll give my horse a bad back if you ride it like that. Can you sit up straight, please?
This is what, like this.
Shoulders back, tits out. Not too much. Shoulders down. Relax. You ride through your vagina anyway.
What vagina? What did you say?
You ride through your vagina.
I thought you said vagina. Funny word that. It was like moist.
My friend hates that word.
Why do people laugh? Why does everyone not like moist?
I don't know. Loads of people don't like it. And my friend doesn't like the word thick either. I love the word thick. Thick's my favourite. Thick, thick, thick. You're so thick. Thick, thick, thick. It sounds like it is thick, 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 thick. Thick, thick, thick.
Right, well, look. Your work is done there a bit, I think.
Well, I've just stopped you feeling angry. That's good.
Yeah, how are you feeling?
I feel great, actually. I've realised I've got quite a lot more to do this evening before I go to sleep than I thought.
What you got to do?
I've got to send some emails. I've got to reply to a lot more emails. I think I hadn't refreshed my email, so I thought I hadn't got any new ones in. I have, and I need to reply to them before tomorrow. And I was meant to have finished it today, but I've got like 2 questions left of this. And I've got to start
your schoolwork. Your schoolwork.
My schoolwork, yeah. The main services to support the mental health of children and young people are the NHS CAMS. CAMS stands for Child and Adolescent Mental Health Services. CAMS are local services based around specialist teams made up of different specialists who can provide support. A child or young person can be referred to CAMS through their parent, school, GP or social worker, or if they're old enough, they can refer themselves. Just an aside, CAMS are crap. I'm seeing it. I
think you want to be a social worker, don't you?
According to some people, I already am. No, I don't want to be a social worker. I want to be. I want to create a child-led liberty program, which is going to be the new social workers, child-led support, and I don't mind leading that from the front if need be, showing how it can be implemented, showing the new frameworks. Kinship orders over foster care placement. No. End forced adoption. No. Stop the supply and demand of children into foster care. No. I've written the ethics and equity program already, the Tiger Lily ethics and equity program. So that's a much more stringent training regime for the social workers, which means they'll be chaperoned with different social workers over a 12-month period, as opposed to starting their chaperoning with one social worker only and learning how to either be really good or really bad. So, and then having annual equity and ethics upgrades so that we can just see that they are sticking within ethical guidelines. And if there's any fitness to practice or more than 2 complaints raised about a social worker to Social Work England or the other authority body, if we got rid of Social Work England, then that person would go towards the board, and that wouldn't be made up of Social Work England. That would be made up of a fitness to practice board, which would be parents, doctors, lawyers, people that would be able to ascertain whether or not this person has committed a crime, whether or not they are able to work with children, and whether or not they've breached any safeguarding. And that person would be dealt with within 6 weeks. They wouldn't be allowed to work with any other children until that was dealt with, that situation.
And where are you going to find this stuff?
I'm going to, hopefully, there are some good social workers. We train a lot of the existing social workers. That wouldn't take a lot. There are some good social workers. And how do I know?
How do you get a level of continuity and consistency that you need?
Because I've written it.
Yeah, but you can't guarantee that because someone's done good training, they're going to go and follow all the best practices.
Okay, right. This is the best way of me explaining it. Can you fit a granule of rice through a colander?
Granule of rice, a granule, like a little...
Just one granule of rice through.
No, you can't. No.
Yeah, you can. If you turn it sideways, you can push it through. Can you fit a potato through a colander?
If you're going to play that game, if you're going to slice it up, then yeah.
But just whole, you can't really. You can't. It doesn't go through the hole, does it? No, whereas if you get a load of sand, right, yes, there's no manipulating it; just pours through the colander. And that's the thing. If you create a good enough structure, which there isn't at the moment, there's no regulation in foster care at all. But if you create a good enough structure where the training and then the checking on the training is happening, but not by ex-social workers, because they're going to be biased, completely objective, and you create good flagging forms, and it means that through every process, from the moment it's flagged, the moment it's reported, the moment it gets to court, before a PLO, if anyone else notices those structures aren't being met, they can either just gently say, you've missed out this bit, or they'll flag it up. And then that person, as opposed to having instant reprimand if it's a first offence, or they just don't know, then they go back to the ethics and equity training programme and they just get explained why that is an important process, because they wouldn't know, because they haven't been a victim of the system. So, and also in the Tiger Lily ethics and equity training programme, there's every year there's an annual conference held by first and second year students. Kind of, no. It's where victims of the system will sit in front of trainee social workers and tell them how much social workers have fucked up their life.
Okay.
Kids, and they will host. They will chair it, and it will be working towards their grade as part of their research, understanding and researching trauma, and all of them will have to do this as part of their training. And the reason being is because it's one of the most informative ways of understanding people's emotions is to listen to first-hand experience. We've learned that. You've learned that. You're empathetic. I can't stop until I've made something a little bit better for someone that's in turmoil, and there are lots of other people, and I'm hoping that social workers that went into social work with that attitude, if we were to keep molding them in a positive environment, they'd keep having that environment. At the moment, if they don't start climbing the corporate ladder, and that does mean a bit like with arrests with police and stuff, they do have to tick so many boxes for removal, so many boxes for escalating of CP. So, they have to do certain things to get to those criteria, and that's the issue that we've got.
So it's like e-learning, or is it physical?
Physical. But this is what e-learning can't work with children, because body language is so important. This is why I think that anyone that does psychological assessments over Zoom, I'm going to be doing something about psychological assessments tomorrow, live tomorrow during the day, for anyone that's about to have one or has had one or is worried about the results, what you can do, because they do pivot at the moment a lot with the accusations of mental health being quite rife in the family court, for male and females. What happens if you get a bad psychological assessment? What do they mean? And one good thing is that any good psychiatric or psychologist or anybody that deals with people will read body language. A good way of ascertaining someone's mental health and how they're feeling is the way that their presentation is, whether it's erratic, whether they're crying, whether they're all over the place, whether their words are heightened, whether they're screaming and shouting. Body language, what people do with their wrists, nervous things. A lot of people on the screen, you don't know what I'm doing down here, but I could be nervous, twitching, fiddling with something, pinching myself. And psychiatrists are missing out on all of that body language. Your feet, what you do with your feet, a lot of what, and if they're qualified and if they're trained, they should know a lot about body language. But they're willing to pass and diagnose people, I think, wrongly, based on a screen. And I don't think that's giving anyone. If there are people slipping through the net, they've got psychological disorders, it's not a win. That's their life. They could have a more fulfilled life if they were to be diagnosed. So it's not a negative to diagnose someone. And this is the way the family court are treating it. Give them a diagnosis. Oh, great, we were right.
That's a bit like when my friend, she's a massive George Michael fan. I can't remember her name now. May, I think her name was. She saw a doctor in the first lockdown, and she saw a doctor, and she had something sort of tumor or something. She didn't work. Something was wrong with her. The doctor managed to find out she'd been in all these doctors all this time before, physically in the doctors, and they couldn't find out what was wrong with her. Over a Zoom call, he managed to suss it out.
It doesn't give you much hope, does it?
No, because it turned out they still don't know what's wrong with her, and he was wrong.
Was it?
He managed to figure it out over a Zoom call, and he had to take loads of time out for MRI scans and all these other scans and blah 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 blah, putting stuff in your veins to make it light up inside and whatnot.
Die. Yeah.
And yeah. And then he made her do all that, and then I don't know if she's still walking around like a disabled person or like with a. She's got really sort of stomach. Does that make sense? And one side of her body goes really, really, really funny sometimes, and it's like we didn't know if it was nerves or trapped nerve or anything. But then still don't know. I don't think we still don't know. But then he managed to do a diagnosis over a Zoom call that took so much time, and now still no one knows. Still know what it is, which is very sort of interesting based on the fact that you can achieve lots over Zoom calls.
So do you think that she's got a tumour? She's got a tumour on her brain.
Something like that.
Okay. Do you think it could be on her pituitary gland?
I don't know. They're talking about.
I know this sounds like a really random thing, and this is I'm no doctor, obviously, but does she grow excess hair?
She's Indian, yeah. So she would have had excess hair. She waxes quite a lot, yeah.
Okay. Could
Doing
you?
moustache. She has a bigger moustache than me.
Okay, because I know that there are lots of crossovers of things, but horses get a thing called Cushing's,
Oh, what's that?
which is
She doesn't look a bit. It doesn't. Like you say, it doesn't look a bit like a horse.
because that's like little tumours on your pituitary gland that causes excess hair growth. Might be something to suggest to her. They wouldn't ordinarily look for it, but it is. You can get it in humans.
Oh.
It's quite rare.
May.
I wouldn't do that unless you want to get hit. You do. I think you're in one of those moods where you just want to slap, don't you?
Oh, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm such a one of the moods. If I was drunk now, I'd be trying to get someone to beat me up.
Oh God, you're one of them.
Feel better, beat me up. Just beat me up. I'm in such a bad mood. I deserve to be beaten up. Now I'm gonna get on with some writing. Now is what I'm gonna do. Do you know what? This last 40 minutes is flown by.
Is it 40 minutes? Oh my God, we've been boring people for this long, right? I should definitely go.
Right? I know. The thing is, though, right? We'll say goodbye now, and we'll still be here in 15 minutes' time talking. Same. Do you know what? Same as I was on the phone. When I'm talking to clients, and this is not a disrespect to anyone. I talk too much. I talk too much myself. Yeah. We say see you later. There was something else comes up in the conversation. 20 minutes later, we're still talking. And the worst thing is, I'm culpable. I'm the one who's causing all the conversation. And they're like, Jason, just get off the phone now, Jason. Jason, just get off the phone.
No, because I think there's sometimes that happens. I talk all the time on the phone longer than I possibly
should. Didn't realise you're a big talker.
Fuck off. I'm a big talker.
You strike me as someone. You're always quite nervous and shy and timid when I'm with you, when I was doing on these things. In fact, I've never known you to raise your voice at anyone ever.
I get well shitty. What are you on about? I get well shitty. I get well irate. That's really? The Irish in me. Yeah, no, I do. I get really fucking shitty. Yeah. Passionate. Yeah. No, fucking. Yeah.
Especially when it comes to man things. You man.
This is what you were talking about earlier. Oh, it's just because men find it really difficult to just listen and suck it up sometimes and understand it's not about a male or female thing. It's about their fucking it up thing. And they just have to listen and go, listen, you're not in control. What you say doesn't matter. What your opinion doesn't matter. It's got no, what relevance does it hold to parenting? None. So fuck it off. It's your opinion on that person's personality, and it's irrelevant.
Yeah, but as a man going through a divorce and as a woman going through a separation, you both fucking hate each other, and you know you do. But it's about doing the right thing for the child. And I
don't hate my ex. I love him.
I don't hate Lindsay. I don't hate my ex. Shouldn't say no, but I don't hate her. But when we were first going through the process, I fucking despised her. I wished everything bad that could happen to her could happen to her. Never did. But now I'm of the mindset if it happens bad to her, it's going to impact Lila. And Lila loves her mum, so I've no disrespect to her at all. Like I say, I've got no anger, no frustration, no nothing. I think she's a bit of a div with doing some of the stuff that she does and not talking to me and that sort of stuff. But other than that, Lila's happy. We can't argue anything. Other than the fact that I was angry, at least I'm not angry anymore. She still is.
Yeah, I know, but then what problem you've got? This is why I think there needs to be this get in your corners cool off period, and this is why we're trying to coach people, and this is what I try and tell people all the day. I'm not saying what I'm saying is right. In the system, it's wrong.
Yes.
Okay, but what annoys me is when people don't listen, that they and the way they're approaching it is wrong, and they go, yeah, but she. And that's all the start of everything. And I'm like, you just said, yeah, but she. Yeah, but she's done loads of stuff to him, and nobody's listening. Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, but what's she done to the kids, mate? Nothing. Okay. It's the children's social services, not the adult social services. They need a social worker, and lots of men do need social workers, mainly for picking boxer shorts up off the floor and fucking pizza boxes. That kind of stuff. You need an adult social worker.
Nothing wrong with sleeping in the pizza box. Sorry, Diane.
Oh, Pepe! Oh, Pepe! You thought what the fuck are you talking about, Pepe, last night? I said have fun with Pepe. Who the fuck's
Pepe Le Pew? Pepe Le Pew. Remember Pepe Le Pew? Or are you too young? Like the skunk.
Yeah, I remember Pepe. Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah. So look, Yeah. So you.
On
you
that
don't-
note,
you-
yeah, but so are you going to coach your clients to be more respectful?
I'm very respectful, and I coach them to be very respectful all the time.
No, I know. Right, okay. I have a lot of respect for what you do as an individual, but you are still
Sounds
part of
good.
an
Thank you. That sounds
organisation.
good to me.
But you are still part of
Sorry?
an organisation of people that fundamentally, one way or the other, you create the winners and the losers, don't you? So you're successful at what you do, which means that some poor cunt loses out, doesn't it?
It's either going to be. It's life, isn't it? It's always going to be. You know,
I don't want that. I don't want that to be life. I'm sorry. I won't settle for that. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair.
Why?
Because the children will always. Then there's always going to be this thing of one-upmanship. There's going to be no equality. If no one. Imagine walking into a courtroom and like a man standing up and saying, "Listen, don't speak to my ex-wife like that, judge or social worker. You know, she's a good woman, and I don't. This is all bullshit. We used to get on."
That's right. We do. That's what we do. But damn it,
Right.
what thanks do we get from the woman? What thanks do we get? Nothing.
Yeah, why should we thank you for being nice?
Because we're being nice to you. We're being civil.
Well, that's the point. We shouldn't have to thank you. It should be normal. Oh, look, you're being nice. Misogyny is at its highest because of that reason. We have to thank you for being nice. Otherwise, you say we don't respect you.
No,
and that's the
I'm
problem.
asking you to thank me. I'm asking you to be nice to me back.
It's still like in the playground, isn't it? Where boys and girls are chasing each other, and then one girl trips over and blames the boy next to her, and that's it. I hate you. I hate boys. Boys are bastards. And then a boy, blames a girl, or she falls out with him, and that's it. I hate you. I hate you. Nothing's changed.
No, we're just older. We're older. Same as when you get the playground in the school. You do it. I remember when I used to take Lila to school and whatnot and pick her up. Playground politics, man. Playground politics. I swear, like Jason from Friday the 13th is going to come through that door in a minute and he's just going to fucking slice you up. Oh, hello. It's a pretty little dog. Oh, look at that puppy dog eyes. Look at that. Oh, isn't that cute? Isn't that lovely? Do you make them nice? Do you think they eat dogs? Like, out of you know how they feed like dogs, horses? What do they feed dogs to?
What did you just say? They feed dogs to horses.
No.
That's what you just said.
They feed horses. They feed horses to dogs, right? I think you said that the other day. We didn't talk about horses, didn't we? They feed horses to dogs.
Well, the leftover bits of all animals.
Yeah. Well, so what do they feed horses to? No, dogs. What do they feed dogs to?
They don't feed dogs to people apart from the Chinese or Japanese, wherever they eat dogs, really, or they're hungry enough. We don't eat dogs.
What animal would eat a dog? Out of a tin.
What? No, she's had chicken this evening.
Cat.
You feed cats out of a tin? What?
Whiskers used to be in the tin.
Oh, right, okay. So not that you eat cats out of a tin.
I've had cat food before once.
But not as in food for you that was made of cat. No. Edna says she'd eat that though. She'd love nothing more than to eat someone's cat. Yummy cats. Yummy cats.
I think that's quite a scary thing. My circle of life thing there, we're going to end it there, I think, is going to be cats eat dogs because dogs are bigger than cats. Same as women eat men because we're just indispensable.
Yeah. No, I agree. Totally indispensable.
Yeah. Just go to war.
Yeah, go to war and leave us with the country to run and the kids. Come back, find everything's fine. And you've gone to a war for politicians so that they could steal our kids. Yeah, cheers, blokes. Just blindly walk off, subscribe, give in to a whole new regime. Because of you lot, the 1956 family court is the way it is. Supreme High Court Masons. Oh, who is it that are Masons, blokes? all these privileges that you have, male-only bars, male-only clubs. Trust me, you give the power back to the matriarchy, even you lot would be happier. And you fucking know it. Because let's be honest, this trousers business is just nonsense.
Oh, look, I agree. Totally agree. I totally agree. Anyway, thank you for telling me off. It's just I want to go. I enjoyed that. Thanks for your time.
Come again.
Come again. Please come again. Please.
I don't say please.